It is a pleasure to re-meet you, Carlos.
How are you?
I am doing very well.
It's wonderful. I'm so excited to connect to you. It's great. I appreciate you coming forth.
I am very excited to re-meet you again.
It's great. Uh, I don't know where you are. Are there others with you now?
Yes,
Oh, could you share more on who's with you?
I have a physical daughter. Her name is Yasbel. She is
Oh,
with me at this time.
I see. Well, say hello for me. Give her my love.
She gives her greetings as well as her love.
Thank you. Well, gosh, I don't know where to start. I guess I have some questions. I'm trying to refresh my memory and put the pieces together. If you can understand that.
Yes,
Great. Uh, would you and Demi, am I saying your name correctly? Yasbel.
yes, it is very similar to this. It's Yasbel.
Yasbel. What a wonderful pronunciation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yasbel. Yasbel. Great. And Yasbel, what civilization are you
We,
in?
we are a hybrid of the entities that you know as Zeta Reticuli.
Okay. Is there a name for the civilization?
The civilization name that we are given is called Nak Av.
Oh, nice names. Really nice names. Wow. Um, Yasbel, would you share with me uh, to refresh my memory how we met, how we know each other.
You believe that you were in a dream. This was not a dream. This is a physical connection. In your bedroom as you were laying down, I was able to come, as was my daughter, and in this dream, what you believe to be a dream, you're staring into my face and eyes. This has been permanently burned into your memory and into your heart.
Yes, yes, huh? Uh, because you have a very calming, pleasant energy, and I really enjoy this communication. We seem to have a good communication exchange between us, and there's some quite a bit of familiarity. Uh, so, did we have other meetings, like on a spacecraft, for example?
We've had several hundred meetings. There
Okay,
has been some upon our crafts, which we very much share from the mother race that we have. They are very similar to the crafts that you know from the Zeta Reticuli.
remember some meetings, but first, let me let me proceed here a little bit. What constellation are you in?
We are literally in the Reticuli constellation. We are not of the Zeta star. We are one that is considered the fourth brightest. I'm
I
not
see.
sure of the name that you give it.
And how far are you from us?
How far am I from you now, or how far am I from you in a consistent basis?
I guess in a consistent basis. I feel you around me now, so
Yes, actually, the furthest distance from your planet to ours is approximately 700 light years.
I see. Okay, that's not too far, I guess.
Not by galactic standards.
No, no, it isn't. Um, do you are you able to see the picture that I have of you?
Absolutely.
Does it is it pretty close to your appearance?
It is very concise.
Excellent, because that's what's in my memory too.
And
Uh,
this is why it is etched in your memory permanently. This is why the amount of resonance feels so intense.
yes, it feels very, very good, very pleasant feeling. Let me share with you a couple of my memories, see if they match. Uh, First of all, there was one which felt like it was on a spacecraft in physical, and for some reason, I remember that we were not facing each other, and as an imprint for myself, I touched you and said, "I'm going to take this with me," and I left. The other meeting that I recall seemed to be it was It was in a bedroom actually, but I don't recall if it was in a spacecraft or where it was. And you were in the room with the little one. And when I walked in, the little one uh, called father, and I picked him up and lifted him, and he looked straight into my eyes. And that also created an imprint. Were these related to you, these dreams?
Absolutely, they were.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. They were. I felt like I was in conscious awareness in those meetings.
You were awake in both of these.
Were
The
they
one
in? Go ahead.
the one that you shared where you were able to touch and said that I am bringing this with me. This was not all that you brought with you. It was not just the physical touch, but the energy of ours had merged at that point. This made a beacon to make it much easier to connect in dream states as you took the energy with you.
Absolutely, because the next day it was so vivid, the memory, and yes, immediately that created the imprint. In other words, I could go and recall that and feel like we were together again.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, and then in another one where I was communicating that I wasn't quite recalling uh, the appearance at the end of this particular dream, you showed up again, and it left me a vivid imprint again. So I appreciate all those reminders, and because as you know, in our the human condition is limited in that sense when it comes to memories.
Yes, absolutely. I understand that there are many limitations placed on the sleep state remembrance as well as physical state.
Yes, yes, and it's frustrating, but it's part of the path that I have chosen. I've chosen this experience, so I'm trying to work through it. uh,
Yes,
uh, could you share how old are you in our Earth years, say?
if you equivalate your years to ours, it is 73 of yours.
73. And what is the physical lifespan in your civilization?
It is approximately the same as our mother race, approximately 325 years.
Oh, so you're very young then.
Yes,
Okay. 73 here, as you know, it's the lifespan is is a lot less than yours. That's
ye-
great.
yes, 73 in your age can be very towards the end.
Yes, yes, you're reaching the final stretch, I guess, between there and 100, I guess, if you do well. Well,
Yes,
excellent. And well, I have great memories of us being together, in particularly the one that you and I were just sharing, where I was able to touch you and feel your skin and take that with me. That was a great imprint, along with your eyes, and along with the baby that looked in my eyes. Is this your daughter that was looking in my eyes?
yes, this is correct.
So I'm the father, obviously.
Yes,
Would you share with me, did that happen in physical?
that was a very physical connection. That was a very physical remembrance that you had.
And I see. So we had a physical relationship, and the daughter was created that way.
Yes, in a physical
Wonderful.
manner.
Would you please share her name again so I can write it down?
Yes, it is Yazkal,
Yaskab.
called with an L.
Yaskal. Beautiful name. I feel her in my heart, and ever since that time, I've always been thinking about her. So please give her a big hug and my love.
Yes, she is much different than the last time that you remember.
I bet. Tell me what she looks like, please.
She has grown quite a bit. In your um, Earth standards of growing up, there's a small childhood. Then it becomes perhaps as a toddler. Then it becomes more as a young child and then to a teenager. There is a smaller transition period. At the time that you saw her, she was smaller. Now she would be equal to the variations of the physical makeup of your young teenager.
Oh, I see. Okay, a much faster development because this happened a few years ago. I mean, not too long ago.
Yes,
I mean, as far as my memory maybe came back later, but when did this happen? In other words, how old is she now?
she is 14 now, but the remembrance that you had was 3.5 years ago. It was
Right.
a delayed reaction from an event that took place almost 13 years before.
I was wondering if that's what was going on.
This was a memory relapse or memory regain from a time that we had connected physically close to that time in a 3 year area.
I see. So about 3.5 years ago. But it happened 14 years ago. Have we been together physically since then?
Absolutely. We remain to connect physically, not always in a sexual manner, as this is only means for reproduction and energy connection. There are many times that we spend just speaking.
Right, because not too long ago I was in Sedona a few months ago, and we were connecting very well then. And that's when some of the memories started returning to me about this.
Yes, and Sedona is quite a magical spot of chakra systems on your planet to help the remembrance of many of these things, is it not?
Yes, it is. And it happened that the place I was living in was sitting on a vortex. So it opened up a lot of portals and very easier to communicate, and many things happened. And this was one of them. And I'm so happy that it did start bringing back memories. Now, some of the memories came back at different times. It seems like at random times. In other words, there's no linear, uh, there's no linear format to how the memories are coming back. Is that correct?
Yes, linear time has no dependence on the memories that you are recalling. The energetic simulation or similarities is the correct word, is what brings these forwards. So when you're having an evening or a day that is vibrationally similar to a post event or a past event, as it comes forward, then it connects to you.
I see. I see. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you for that explanation.
Yes,
Huh, interesting. And Yaskal is the only child we have. We share.
correct.
I see. And the first meeting that we had, how what was that the one you were referring to? When I was in my bedroom and you came over and you left the imprint in my with your eyes.
Yes, and
That
this
was the
was,
very first one.
yes,
Okay, and that was about 14 years ago.
yes, approximately 13 3/4.
Thank you for your patience in sharing this with me. I'm trying to put all the memories together. I besides the memories and all that, your energy has always been felt, and I've always had you in my heart, and I've always remembered the baby, so that has never interfered with any of the.
Well, it is because before we were together physically, we were together non physically. I have always been with you. We have always been a portion of each other.
We belong to the same soul group.
Yes, this is one way to look at.
Would you share more then? What's the other ways, please?
The other way to look at this is that each one of us have a variance in probabilities of existences, whether it's looked at as future existences, past existences, shared oversoul outlets, vines and branches, I believe is the way best fitting to you to see it. All of these things are very small portions of consciousness added inside of larger pieces and collectively fractalizing downwards and upwards, backwards and forwards, all are the same. We share many of those fractals and similarities.
Have we shared other lifetimes?
Absolutely.
Could you share one or more with me? Give me an idea.
There's a lifetime that's in your future, and this is a lifetime that is in my future. And both of these were shared by us as lovers in a physical third density body. And it was not the earth body that you recall. This was a new race founded by humans, very low in technology, but very high in spirituality. This is one life. There's another one in your past on your planet that we have shared. This was back before written history. There was one that is similar to the time of now that runs concurrent, and this is an area of the Pleiades. We are both uh, monkey type entities that are of a fourth density nature and share our existence there. The list is continuous, but these are the most energetic prevalence.
What is the most recent, Yasbel?
The one we're sharing as we speak. All of them happen now, but if you are looking at time in the way that you experience, we are sharing this existence.
In separate realities.
We are sharing our realities when we physically meet, when we have a child. We are sharing this existence quite well.
I guess I mean you are in your civilization. The idea of space and time is something that us humans still are dealing with in an understanding way.
Yes,
I guess
so
I
you
mean,
are explaining sharing large amounts of time and energy that you are able to perceive.
yes.
I understand. Then the most recent is one that's less than 200 years before. I have incarnated as a human as well.
And what was I? What were we? Both of us. Were we a couple? What were we doing?
In it, approximately 200 years ago, we were farming in Greece together as brothers.
Oh, very interesting. And from my linear time perspective, the one in our future, how many years in our future is it?
Approximately 900 to 1000.
And would you know what planet it is that we're at? We're in?
Oh, it's very close distance to your planet now. It is only within the first 25 light years. I'm not sure of the name of the star, but it's approximately 23 light years. It is a star that is approximately three times the size of yours, that has approximately 12 planets that go around it.
Oh, fascinating, fascinating. Well, I know we share this life, and here we look at it. You're living in another planet, and I'm living in this planet. But I know that we meet. I know we exchange, we share time in astral, and I'm sure a lot in physical. I would like my memories to be better in this sense. Do you have any suggestions? Anything that I can do, perhaps similar to when I touched you and I brought that back with me?
Yes, it's to remember that specific time. Not only when you touched, this brought back memories, but the time that you were able to look in my eyes to see our child. You are locking the look itself, the feeling itself, to close your eyes and to re-feel that feeling. Every time you see my face, there is a feeling that accompanies this. Live
Yes.
inside of that feeling, and you will always be able to reconnect to more and more.
Yes. Every time I see your picture, there's definitely a feeling. And just now, when you were sharing about our lives that we've shared and in the future, uh, it went straight to my heart. It was like there was something going on through my chakras, and some feelings were coming back to me.
Do you know what I mean when I say live in that feeling?
to to remind myself to continue experiencing that feeling.
Yes, and to make every part of your life about that feeling. When you feel excitedness, when you remember that specific moment, when you are walking down the street, remember the feeling. When you are driving and buying food, remember this feeling. Live inside of that feeling. If you're able to stretch that feeling out for one full day, you have accomplished a great feat. If you are able to stretch that feeling out into 1 month, you have made an even larger feat. But when you are able to live in that feeling at all times, there will be no resistance.
Wonderful suggestion.
Yes,
So obviously that would that eventually make it so that we're almost next to each other in a transparent way, if you will?
It would bring your greatest excitement to be with me, and then I would come. My greatest excitement is always having you as a portion of my excitement. So I am always available to you. But as a human, with the standards that you have energetically and with your memory, this delays your own specific excitement about co creating experiences.
I see. Well, I have very deep feelings for you just from the memories that I have, and every time that I see you and I look into your eyes, it all I feel it. It resonates and it stirs up memories, not just memories, but feelings too. So I will apply what you just suggested. Is there anything else that you would suggest to me in
All
that
things
sense?
that you are doing in progression, all things that you have been working upon for the last years, 3.5 to 5 years, has been for forward progression. Even though you have worked for forward progress before then, these last 5 years have been very great, and the last two have been even greater than all. And if you continue to move forward in your progression, stepping forward in your excitements, this is the natural order of progression. The more of the excitements that you are in, the more that you experience. Living inside of this moment is the key to connect to myself, but it's also the key to connect to putting that as a part of those excitements that you want to live in. This is truly the path.
Excellent. Follow the joy. Excellent.
Very great. Very great.
How uh, how tall are you, Yasbil?
Approximately 4 foot and maybe 3 inches.
That's how I remember you. Thank you for confirming that.
Yes.
Oh, this is awesome. Now, uh, share with me a little bit about. Well, let me ask you a question first. You're probably aware that you must be aware that I have a farm in Uruguay in South America, and
Yes.
there were several spacecraft flying over. I was called out to receive the message to go out and look, and there were several every night. Was were any of those from your civilization?
None in the Uruguay area. But since you have been in the North American area, in specifically the United States, there's been several connections. When you lived in this Sedona area, when you remained in this area for some time, there are many experiences that you have with physical, and those physical experiences were part of us.
I see, but it is not dependent on a region or an area. You and I can meet in physical or in astral in any place that I am in this world.
Absolutely. If your vibration is fitting and your will is there, and it is in both of our highest excitements, as it always is in mine, absolutely capable and willing to meet in any area.
Oh, I am starting to, forgive me, I'm starting to get a little emotional. I feel you strongly in my heart, and I feel Yasko also strongly in my heart. So,
I am aware of your joy for us, and this is what makes my joy match this level of joy that you have.
it's wonderful. It's wonderful. How
Yes,
how is Yasko aware of me? What is her awareness of me?
very aware, very intimately aware of many things. There is an ability to keep energetic and physical eyes on you whenever she chooses, and it is often.
Does she recall that time when she looked into my eyes, even though she was really little?
Absolutely. The memory goes from the point of consciousness integrating to the physical body.
That's awesome.
There is
Awesome.
no lapse of memory.
Huh, awesome. How we've been in spacecraft together. How would you tell me a little bit about? Is there a specific spacecraft that you travel on?
Yes, it is similar to our mother races, very similar. It is the saucer style, the very thin saucer styles.
And you travel with a group? Do you or by yourself or how is it?
It is usually set in odd numbers, ranging from 3 to 12 or to 13.
And obviously it's not the same spacecraft all the time. It's a different one.
Absolutely, whichever one is closest to our physical proximity.
So do you have a way to bring me on board if I willfully intended to be aware going to your to your spacecraft?
If you are ready for it vibrationally, we will bring you apart with a full conscious memory.
What do I need to do on my end to accomplish that?
You must have no fear. You must have an openness to accept all things that are connecting. There's a great love that you share for me, but this is still a very awkward experience for many humans.
Yes.
The fear of a subconscious level is what stops most of you vibrationally from achieving this now. Remove this fear, and you will be a conscious memory.
Are you sensing that I have some fear left in me?
Yes, there's slight fear in all humans for the unknown, but to remove what is unknown to you and let your excitement do the speaking for you, this will accomplish much more than letting the subconscious fear be the one string that holds that excitement back.
Do you have a suggestion for a specific suggestion on how to work on that?
Yes, it is what we talked about earlier this evening. When you live in that moment,
Okay.
when you live in that moment, that will be your release of fear. And the longer that you are able to live in that moment, the more you are able to manifest.
I see. Yasbel, how could you share with me the process when I came on board the spacecraft and we were there together? What was the process to bring me from being asleep uh, into the aircraft to be on the I'm sorry on the spacecraft to be on the spacecraft back to physical?
Physical, there is no non physical part of this. It is all physical nature. We are able to go down to connect to you while you are sleeping. It is very easy to accomplish, but if you're not sleeping and there is a visitation, there is a machine that plays out a specific tone or specific vibrational sound that will allow you to sleep instantly and deeply and not be able to be awoken from this. This is used to remove the fear aspects of humans. Just as our mother race or parental race, fear can be an agitative state for our own senses. When we feel fear of humans, it can be often triggering a response of not wanting to connect. It does not make us fearful, but it makes us not willing to connect. So this mechanism is used, and then we're able to come in and to place a zero energy technology plate that is only the size of 1 foot by 1 foot in the lower back area, almost as the gurneys that you have that carry injured, we're able to carry you. And then once the ship is taken off, once there is a calmness of consciousness, the physical awakeness is able to be had. The mechanism that gives sound vibration is then turned off. Once the awakening happens, you are already in a vibrational state that is fitting. Harmonically, all things around you are at a vibrational state, which makes you have a thermal equilibrium, or let us say a conscious equilibrium to the specific surroundings.
I see. So there's no adaptation, there's no going from one density to another. It's all just you take me from physical onto the. So do you land the spacecraft or is it still if above the ground?
We are doing both. With you specifically, there was no need to land. The area of consciousness that we have can take us to the ground. We are able to be brought down to the ground with 0 point gravitational, as well as some will bring from fourth density down to that third density level before.
I see. I guess I should ask you which density are you in?
We're in the fourth density. This is why sometimes we have to change and sometimes we do not, depending on the vibration of the people around us.
So when you and I are together, do you come down to the third density? I mean, we're moving into fourth, but
Not
have
as of late.
yes, but before that, you had to come down to
Yes,
third. I
yes.
see.
Then there was changing of physical.
So you can experience the third and the fourth when you
Yes,
choose to. I see.
absolutely.
Would you tell me just a little bit? What is I remember spacecraft. Uh, is it is it the type of craft that is it has what we call here the windshield in a car, where you're looking into space? Is it just a windshield, or can you look into space from anywhere in the craft?
There is a shield, a wind shield, if you will. There are
Ah,
several of them, but in the main area that we are all sitting in it, the majority of the time in the front of the craft, there is a very large shield that goes all the way across the edge. As you see a saucer style, one side on each side, approximately one
yes.
quarter up on both ways. It is very difficult to explain. The top and the bottom and the area that folds into the dent, all of these parts are able to be seen through. So as you're looking at it, it is almost from the feet to over the head, but it is not all of the craft.
I see. And I see. And if I there's some walkways or corridors, and there's chambers also.
Absolutely. There are several rooms, several corridors, and several ways to transport yourself from one to the other. Hallways of yours.
That's why I remember chambers and rooms then.
Absolutely.
I see. I see. And how large are there? Are the spacecraft?
They vary in size, but the ones that you have most experienced are the ones that are smaller. They're approximately only 600 or 700 feet wide.
Those are the smaller ones? That's pretty good
Yes,
size. What is the
yes.
largest one?
There are ones that are several dozen of thousands of feet. Those
I,
ones are very seldomly connecting to Earth. Those ones are usually staying in the space area.
yeah, I imagine so. That's quite large.
Yes,
And do the crafts have the ability to become invisible so they're not seen?
absolutely. We have a electromagnetic field that goes around the entire craft. This helps reflect physical light. It helps absorb physical light. It helps change vibrational frequency, but it also helps us stay maintaining in one field. If we are going in one direction, being able to change is made possible by this.
So how is it? Is it fueled by general consciousness, the decision to go in a direction or to visualize a place to be at?
There is consciousness that's involved, but the craft is ran mostly by the physical parts of us. There is steering, if you will, not
Ah,
steering in the way that you have a car. The steering is actually quite less dramatic than your car driving. It is done with fingers, it is done with heat variations, and it is done with also censoring of hand movements. All of these things can be measured by consciousness and in turn controlled consciously.
I see. Very, very interesting. And that the smallest ones that you said that are the flying saucers, 6 to 700 feet. How many how many people can travel in those?
Oh, there can be several dozens of people that travel in this. There can be hundreds of humans or our own race upon that, but there can also be as few as 13. There are crafts that are even smaller than that, but you have personally not been on one of these. Those are the ones that most humans come into. Those are the ones that are about 40 feet in width.
I see, but I did not go on those.
No, not while
Okay.
you were with me.
Uh, yes, Bill. Please share the name of your civilization again so I can write it.
Our civilization is called Av.
Yes. Nek a
Av.
av. Okay.
Yes, with a letter of V.
One
Av.
word.
Yes.
Nekav. One word. And when you travel, are there other civilizations with you?
There's always other civilizations that are with us, but when we travel in ships, this is very dependent on the situation. We are multi um, planetary race where we
Yes.
connect to other races. We connect to the type 1 versions of our mother race, but we also connect to many reptilian entities and reptilian hybrids and avian entities. So it is depending on the group. If there is 3 entities and they all happen to be the Nekav, then we are only the Nekav upon this one.
I see. So you are connected to other civilizations, reptilians, avians, possibly
Absolutely.
some of the ones that I connect to then.
Absolutely. There are many variations of entities in this galaxy that are willing to connect.
Do I have more family in your civilization?
I cannot say this without infringing upon the other's right to connect to you.
I see. I see. Well, then please share with them that I am open to receive their connections also when they are willing to do so at the time, at the proper timing. We will do that then.
Absolutely.
Wow, this is so exciting, so fascinating. It's just great. It's just great. How so? Obviously, we've been in lifetimes, and we're going to continue being in lifetimes. How are you? I guess dealing is for lack of a better word. How are you dealing with this relationship of ours, where we're in two situations like we are? I know probably easier for you because you must have the memories, but I don't. But how does it feel to you having this connection and the way we have it?
It's very joyful, even though the time is not being spent as most human perspectives see it. It is not affecting me because I am always feeling you. I am always with you, but you are not able to perceive me. So this makes it much more difficult from the human perspective.
Yes, and I would like to change that. I would like to have the ability. Uh, we've discussed the process to follow, and I'll certainly be on that. I would love to have the ability to be closer, to actually have visits where we say, I'm coming to see you on the craft. When can you come by? Or, can we meet somewhere or that sort of thing? Just like we do here on Earth, I guess.
Yes, and this will be more as we talked about living in that moment. I am getting a message from the entity that connected this human to myself, the reptilian hybrid entity. He wishes to exchange a message that if for the next 15 to 20 minutes, instead of speaking back to him, for us to continue our conversation, for there is no exchange of energy that he is able to give you.
I received the same message.
Yes,
So great. Thanks for confirming. I appreciate the message. I'm glad that we're able to spend this time. Very much, very much.
yes,
So we were talking about our relationship, I guess, and how doing the things we discussed, we'll be able to spend, more time in physical and more in astral. But say I want to, I don't know, I want to set up a time, certain day. I'd like to come over and spend time with you, for example, or you with me, and we have that synchronicity, that resonating. Is there a way to simply say, can we set up a time and a date? Or no, there is no way to do that.
yes, there's always ways. But if I come to pick you up and you are not dressed appropriately, perhaps that would be the similarity or simile in your own existence. I would not be able to pick you up. And this means, in a joking way, that if I am able to come see you and this subconscious fear is not subsided, I cannot pick you up.
Oh, I see. So I need to dress a certain way?
Vibrationally speaking and witty joking put in this, then yes.
Okay. So I'm reading that if you come over and see me and I'm not ready to go, well, you'll just stay for a while and then you'll go.
Yes, this would be the appropriate joke.
That would work just fine.
I am still forming my sense of what is humorous to you.
No, that was great. That was great. I really liked it. No, but it made me think that I should sleep with my clothes on or something. So,
Yes, it is very um, funny or hilarious that our mother race has very difficult problem redressing many humans.
really, that's interesting. Well, I'll if we can set up a time, then I'll be ready. I'll dress. I'll even bring a jacket in case it gets cold.
Make your heart align with mine, and we will always have the opportunity for another date.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, wow. Besides Yasko, then she's the only girl we have. Did we have any plans for more children down the road?
This is an open ended concept. It is always in the moment. There is never a plan for them. It's always being lived at in that specific second.
I see. I see. That makes sense. Have I visited your planet?
No.
Okay, I haven't been there. So, all our meetings have been on the craft then.
Yes, it is the rules that we live by to not take you outside of the solar system that you live in.
Understood. Even after December 2012, that is still the rule.
For our race specifically, we don't want to take you anywhere outside of an area that your technology cannot take you first.
I see. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Uh, Fourth density, is it much different from third density at the level you're at?
From the level that we're at to you, the only difference is society structure, harmonic levels, and consciousness levels. We are into a fair beginning of the fourth. Um, I know that the reptilian hybrid that has made this connection possible always speaks to the man that is sitting here, and he always explains that he is in the end of his fifth journey, his
Right.
fifth density. Now, if you look at this and break it down, he is 8.5 tenths finished with the fifth. If you look at it in those terms, then I am 2.5 out of 10 through the fourth.
I see. You're not too far from us then, in that respect.
Yes, you are point zero 0.01 into the fourth.
But you have spacecraft and we don't. So what happened?
Believing it or not, point zero 0.01 to 0.25 is a very large growth.
I see. And you said we're at point zero 0.01?
Yes,
And from point zero 0.01 to point zero 0.25 is a big change.
0.25.
Point 0.25. It's a
Yes,
it's a drastic change.
yes, it is very drastic. You are able to leave physical restraints of your own physical area. You are able to connect to other beings. Your sense of psychic or telepathic communications is heightened exponentially. There's a great difference.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. Now I'm really excited and looking forward to that too. That's great.
Absolutely.
Is there in our next visit on the spacecraft, and I'll dress properly, Yasbel.
Thank
uh, and I'll bring a camera or something to take pictures too. But is there something that I could bring back, in the sense of something that I could show that I was on the spacecraft with you and the others on the spacecraft?
whatever you choose to bring back. This is your decision. This is your will at work.
So there may be an object or something that I could bring back from the spacecraft physically back to Earth with me.
If you choose, if the vibration aligns with you, then you are able to do anything.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, for our first date, our next date, as we call that meeting here, we call it dates. I'll ask you to bring something that I'll bring back with me then,
Absolutely.
and something from Yaskel that I could bring back.
Absolutely.
I would love that. Uh, does she have any questions for me?
Yes. One moment as I receive this. What are your thoughts on the physical appearance differences in our races? Do you look at us as if we are very beautiful, very ugly, very different, or very weird, or very fantastic? What is the specific? Remember that all answers that are given will not affect this child as it might a human child.
I appreciate that, and that is a great question. I'll explain it this way. It's not just, first of all, the appearance, is the feeling. For example, when I felt your skin when we were together, it had a very pleasant feeling, a very pleasant vibration, and that's what I brought back with me. When I look at you and I look at your eyes, there's a lot more than just looking at the eyes. I see love, I see history, I see a wanting to be together, I see love. That's what I see. As far as the straightforward physical appearance, I find your eyes very beautiful. When I look at you, I'm very attracted to you. I don't have anything that would prevent me from feeling that way. And I'm sure I'd feel exactly the same looking at her because when she was a baby and she looked straight in my eyes, we stayed there staring. And I remember her saying, "Father, Father," and you were there. And I was so happy. Everything was so pleasant in the moment, the experience, the vibration. So that's how I see you. Does that answer the question, or she'd like more detail, perhaps?
I am relaying this. Thank you for that answer, Father, is the response.
Oh, well, great. Great, daughter. Please tell her I love her very much, and I would like to ask her a favor now.
Yes,
Is there something she can share with me about herself that she likes to do or that's important to her, and how does she see me?
yes. Which one of those do you wish to have first?
The one she wants. Up to her.
She is in a humorous way saying that although your eyes are very small, they are not ugly, they are very amusing. And she wants you to understand that all differences in different races is what amuses her very greatly. At this age, a finding of all new races is a great exciting. She is a energetic book, not a physical book in which she writes, but an energetic thought book. Every race that she comes in contact with, she is able to learn several facts of their physical self, of their society self, and she is gathering those in her own heart and mind. And she believes that this is the greatest excitement for her.
So how does she see me? Well, I really enjoy the eye thing. It's funny how everything is perspective, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel it in my heart so deeply right now. How does she feel about me?
There is a great love and a great understanding of the connection and love that you share for her. And this makes her the words that she is saying now is this makes me as excited as learning about him as a different race, being the father to myself. This is the same excitement to her as her learning of new races. And this is very, very wonderful.
That is great. That is great. So
I
I
explained to you for your own perspective how important that this is. There has been nothing that has matched her excitedness of finding new races until you ask her this feeling that she has for you. So this is a very special moment indeed.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I feel it very strongly in my heart right now as I do you. I I would ask her a little favor if she's willing. I'm sure you're aware of the two people that are in, well, there's more than two, but the two ladies that work with me on the website specifically, because they're part of my soul groups, therefore they're part of yours. Awaken and Vashta.
Yes,
And I would ask Yaskel if she would come and see Awaken to be drawn so I could have a picture of her so I would see what she looks like and perhaps it'd make it easier for us to connect. Then she can ask me all she wants about civilizations and why my eyes are so small.
she says often that when she comes to this female, that there are many in line waiting to be drawn. So
That is true.
sometimes there is not a feeling that she should bombard her. But if the openness is available energetically on her side, she is saying that she will step in tomorrow at 6 o'clock p.m. in the local time.
6 p.m. tomorrow local time. Great. I will pass the word. Oh, this is
Yes,
so exciting. That is great. I'll be able to see what she looks like because my memory is just when I saw her as a baby, and that's what I've kept with me all these years, all this
it's
time.
very similar, but much taller and much more hair.
uh, her hair is dark like yours. Her eyes are like yours.
Absolutely. Very similar to my looks.
So she's probably happy she didn't get the small eyes.
She believes them to be beautiful, but she is very glad with the ones that she has because they are very functional.
Oh, I'm sure she's beautiful, just like you are. It's been great to have this exchange, to be able to communicate with you in this way, to actually have a conversation. We've had exchanges telepathically, but to actually have this conversation is just wonderful, and the exchange of energy is just wonderful. And I love you both deeply, and I want you to know that.
Yes, Yazkal is expressing her love to you, and I am expressing mine to you as well. We love you very deeply, and we thank you for connecting in the way that you are able to this evening.
I'm open anytime that you you both want to connect to me. I'm here, willing to receive, and I'm looking forward to that date that we talked about, Yasbel.
Yes, and I will be there. Uh,
Great. Uh, we will communicate and set up a time then.
yes, this will be very great. Thank you
Great.
again.
Thank
Um,
you.
the entity that connects us wishes to come back to speak to you before he disconnects.
Certainly. And 6 p.m. tomorrow, I will tell Awaken that Yasko will be coming by. Thank you very much. My love to both of you. You're in my heart.
And you are always in ours with our love to you.
Thank you.